Welcome, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Woo-wee. There must be some things burning because all of a sudden I got really hot. So I don't know where today's makeshift happen is going, but it might be a doozy. So hang on to your britches, get some water, turn off your cell phones, or at least put them on mute. Oh, that reminds me, I need to do the same. I did not put my phone on mute. Just a minute. I'll be right back. StreamYard. What do I want to say here? Studio. Thank you. I know who Aloha is coming from. So, welcome, darlings. Welcome. Howdy doody, tutti fruity. That's kind of how it's like feeling today. It's a bit tutti fruity, but grounded. Have you ever had that happen? First, let me say, welcome to Makeshift Happen. I'm Tammy Lee, and I bring to you every Wednesday at noon, usually at noon, make shift happen. I am a rock star doing that. Sometimes I got my boots on, sometimes I don't, but we make shift happen. And drop the F if you need to get my drift. For those of you that are new to me, I am Tammy Lee, an accelerated intuitive, a way shower, an energy medicine facilitator, guiding us to the depths of our soul, to the expansions beyond our galaxy, beyond our cosmic arena, into other realms sometimes. I'm here to help you to tap into the fullness of your power and the fullness of your magic that we all have within us. And tap into that wellness, that abundance of wellness that's in each and every one of us. We all have it, girlfriends. We all have it, sisters. I sometimes take you into the darkest depths of our abyss, of the unknown in this lifetime and other lifetimes. Whether we do this on Makeshift Happen, or whether we do this in a group work, or whether we do this in one-on-one work. I help you to heal ancient, ancestral lineages, woundings, and bring back to you those fragmented soul pieces. So we all can live together in a wholeness, in a sovereignty of who we are. I truly, truly, truly have always believed holy is spelled WHOLLY. We need to be whole within ourselves, whole within ourselves. Sistars, we need to be whole within ourselves. And then no one, no thing will have power over us. It's a work in progress, girlfriends. It's a work in progress. Yes. Whew. Doesn't that feel good? Doesn't that feel juicy? Girls. Good and juicy work. So if you're hearing me, if you're getting this drift, go ahead and let me know. Let me know if this is the right. Yeah, ready to shift. Okay, darlings. If you see this, there might be, if you're coming from, okay, so I can't see your name inside the StreamYard studio. So there should be a link right above the video at the very bottom of the verbiage that's written that asks you to click on that link. So that way I can see your name, because somebody says ready to shift. Ready to shift. Not sure who you are. Go ahead and type in your name if you would. So that way I know who we're speaking to. So, so much is happening lately. How many of you feel that? So much is happening. Trying to get myself centered. So much is happening. So much energy is moving. So much energy is coming up. A lot of it sometimes, okay, that just didn't make sense. Many times it can have to do with our thoughts. Our thoughts become things. It's one of the things we want to start paying attention to. Girl, I tell you, I literally caught myself yesterday as my thoughts, and I've been doing this work for a long time, but my thoughts yesterday were like swirling, and they could have taken me down into a dark shaft where I could have got lost. But one of the things I do is I breathe into my heart space and bring those thoughts that can seem dark into my heart. When we breathe into our heart space and we feel that heartbeat, when those thoughts that can seem dark, and we bring that into our heart, it helps to transmute those thoughts. And it helps those thoughts to say, it helps those thoughts to know that you saw them. Because sometimes thoughts will keep coming back until you see them, until you hear them, until you do not react from them. Something I realized yesterday is, okay, so I've been working on a story. I don't know if y'all know that I wrote an international best-selling book called The Second Start, Finding Joy in the New You. And I've been working on some other writings and really been going back into my earlier years as I'm writing these stories, as I'm contemplating them and bringing them forth, because there's still parts of me, which there's still parts of you. This is a lifetime, darlings. This is a lifetime of healing. As I said on the last Make Shift Happen, even other beings that have left this, that have been known as, whether you know them as a saint or whether you know them as an ascended master. Ascended masters are still working on themselves in whatever dimension or reality where they're at, because it's an ongoing. And it's not to discourage us. It's to celebrate when these things come to us. because then it shows us. It even celebrate when we get triggered. Yeah, you might not think that in the moment, but however, when we okay, when we get triggered, it could be like, "Oh, thank you. Thank you for showing me that." Okay, so what I've realized, so at the age of 17, I want you to think back into like a turning point in your life. And it might not be at a teenager, but at the age of 17, as I'm sitting in the doctor's office, this dark, dreary office that seems so cold and lifeless, wondering why I've been sick. My stepmom telling me to go to the doctor, and I'm there all alone. I'm there all alone. No mother to go with me, no father to hold my hand. I'm there all alone as this doctor that I hardly know because I've never really been sick starts to examine me. And he walks out the door. And I'm sitting there kind of in a daze, wondering what's going on. Why am I so sick? All by myself at the age of 17. And he walks in and he tells me I'm pregnant. Now, mind you, I had no clue. And it might seem ridiculous to you. I had no clue I could get pregnant. I never even thought about I could get pregnant having sex with my boyfriend who is now my husband. With my boyfriend who is now my husband. And I was just like, huh? I'm pregnant. You're pregnant, Tammy. Hmm. All by myself in this dark, dreary, unfeeling room. And as I sat there with that information, I was okay until he said, at your age, Tammy, you're only 17. You have a whole life ahead of you. I suggest you get an abortion. Now, at that point in time, I'm 59. So minus 17. So do the math. Help me out here. 17 minus 59 is 42. Yeah, 42 years ago, abortion was illegal. So if you wanted an abortion, you had to, I live in a town, well, you had to go like 3 hours away to get it. And apparently this doctor did those. Tammy, you should have an abortion. Literally felt a mama bear instinct, a mama bear rising up inside of me. I felt this strength I've never felt before. I felt this, I could even feel the claws coming out of my fingernails. I could have scratched this doctor's eyes out. There was a rage inside of me that I'd never felt before. There was a protectionness that rose up in me like, oh, ain't no way this this doctor, this guy is ever going to fucking touch me again. I could not trust him. I just like I was ready to pounce on him like a mama bear protecting her cub and rip him to shreds. That's what I felt within me. A power for the first time at the age of 17 that I never felt until that moment. And from that moment, see, that's a change point. From that moment in my life, something switched on within me. I may not have understood it then, and I'm still attempting to understand it now. But on my own, I never went back to him. At the age of 17, no one maternally helping me. Those instincts rose up within me. I had no one to depend on. And I got a different doctor who was just an incredible man. I felt so safe in his care. He delivered all 5 of my well, he was a doctor for all 5 of my children. Not that he delivered all 5 because he had partners and he wasn't always available, and you know how that girl goes. And he was incredible. He even said after my 4th birth, the 4th child I birthed, that he was there with, he's like, "Tammy, I need to write a book about you," because everyone was different. Every pregnancy was different. Every birthing was different. He said, "I need to write a book about you." Dr. Mickey Myrick. He was a gem. Thank you for this, ladies, because something that came through yesterday as I was thinking about this story, I was thinking of other things because one of the things that have really come up at this point in my life is the is healing the masculine energy, the masculine. I'm working with a lot of masculine energy to heal those parts that I do not trust. So I want to thank you for allowing me to share this story because I forgot about how much I trusted this man, the doctor that I found for my children, for me, that a doctor that I found for me after my first initial mama bear reaction to the doctor that told me I should get an abortion. Right? For me, it was not the right thing. There was no reason for it. There was no health reason. There was no reason for me to even consider that. So taking that power, that surge of that mama bear, and I vowed to myself I would be the best mom ever. Something I never grew up with in this lifetime. And it's not about giving up my identity, which but I had, okay? But I learned that. But when I vowed that is was not just raising children, not a, especially not knowing I was going to have 5 children. You know, when I'm 17, having this baby, I am I am literally first I want because I never felt safe ever since I was born up to the age of 17, m- maybe once, maybe twice, but in general, I'd never felt safe. The time I felt safe, that's a different story for a different time because that was my first love. Okay, so I never felt safe, especially with men, up to the age of 17. Mhm. Okay, let me rephrase that. I did feel safe with Tim, who at that time was my boyfriend. Yeah, but in general, there was no safety, not growing up. And what was the purpose of me sharing this with you? Safety. Something about safety, men, and raising my children. It was also about teaching them. It wasn't just raising them. It's also about teaching them. We are to be teachers, not our children's best friends. And I know this is very rare, but out of 5 children, they all turned out to be incredible humans, leaders in their own way, phenomenal human beings, big heart, soul, big heart centered humans, all 5. Usually there's one that doesn't turn out like that, right? But I knew I had help. And by utilizing that energy of the mama bear, even though it had slipped away at times, I was not a helicopter mom, like overprotection. Times I should have been, times I would, um, what's the word? Rationalize different behaviors from other people, thinking I should see the best in everyone. Also, that motherhood is also a time for forgiveness of ourselves. How many of you women sit with guilt and shame over things you did, things you didn't do, things you should have done, things you think you should have done, things you things you think you should not have done? How many of you sit with that guilt that needs to be transmuted? I can remember even as a young mom, because so I'm 17, I'm a senior in high school. I get married as a senior in high school. I go from my father's house to my husband's house. I'm still going to school. I'm due on Mother's Day in May 1980, and I'm determined to finish school. I am determined to finish school. My teachers were awesome. that, that everybody helped me. Like I had to shift around different classes in order to graduate with full credits, like mid semester, because I couldn't go all the way through May. I was supposed to have a baby in May. My baby was born. My baby Joey was born May 11th, and school didn't get out till like the 21st or whatever. So I wasn't even thinking about graduation ceremony. I didn't even know that was an option. Like it wasn't even a thing in my head because I didn't know I belonged anymore. I don't belong with the teenagers. I don't belong with these older moms. There's no teen mom I knew. There was no mother figure in my life. Didn't know where I belonged. I felt lost with no guidance. And so I wanted you to think about uh, one of those life moments that really changed your trajectory of where you were going. That was a life moment. Totally changed my trajectory. And somehow some those moments can influence the rest of our lives. Those moments can influence the rest of our lives. Those life-changing moments can influence the rest of our lives. And have you forgiven yourself? Is there forgiveness to happen? Is there guilt to clear and transmute? Is there shame hiding down underneath there? One of the biggest things that as I was saying earlier, one of the biggest things that I have seen in my lifetime is this trajectory, this standing up, this speaking our truth, speaking my truth. And until I learned that, different experiences, we could also call them obstacles, would come along in order to teach me to speak my truth, to stand up for me, which also had me stand up for the underdog. I can still remember in high school, even though I was nervous, standing up for that underdog, the boy that was being teased in my sophomore English class because the teacher wasn't out there, being teased relentlessly by Joe and Jennifer. And he ended up crying, this guy. And I was so angry, I finally just couldn't hold it back anymore and told them to shut the hell up. To shut up and leave him alone. Of course, then the attention's on me, and then I get made fun of. But there's those moments, however, there's those moments in life that will that are brought to us, especially if we want to be sovereign, if we want to be whole, if we desire to know truth. I've been a truth seeker all my life. To learn to feel safe within me. See, that's part of what this this lifetime has been showing me is I haven't felt safe out there because for some reason I didn't feel safe in here, especially with men. Like, I mean, I don't mean like, oh, they won't hurt me safe. I mean, soul safe. Is my soul safe with you? Is my spirit going to flourish with you? That kind of safe. That deep safety. And not that and which comes with a trust. That's the bigger picture, right? That's the bigger picture is the deep trust. Can I trust my soul with you? Some people would say, can I trust my heart with you? I think it goes beyond that. I think it goes beyond that. It's a soul thing. It's a spirit thing. So now, it's something that really came through yesterday. As I'm thinking back, all these different times as I'm writing, is I don't know if I could ever really trust. Like, I mean, truly, full out trust the masculine energy. And as that popped through, like, wow, huge, huge work too. That's huge work to do to be able to trust the divine masculine essence. Because we're not shown what that is. We're not shown what that is, what that even represents, what that even brings forth. But it's also to trust that divine masculine essence that's within me. It's not about as much as trusting another, the masculine, a man outside. I mean, I truly don't know. Truly don't know. And I know that's where some of my work is to be. It's healing whatever that is within inside me. Because we're both masculine and feminine. So it helped me to see there's a untrustworthiness happening within me. I share this with you. So as you look outside yourself, what is that actually showing us, showing you, showing me about within ourselves? What is it, the message? What is it that wants to come and be with us? What wants to heal? What wants to come forth? Because I know this is bigger than me. I know this is a collective thing, is to heal that divine masculine energy within me. Because maybe that's the caveat that's not allowing me to trust masculine energy outside of me. Do you get what I'm saying? Sometimes we have things within us that desire to be seen, looked at, known, healed, in order for us to have a relationship outside. so we can let other people off the hook because we're doing that internal work. So Joanne says, let's go back to the beginning. Besides, she's ready to shift. Yes, these are like shadow pieces. Don't dissolve until we acknowledge them. She goes on to say, thank you for the story for a number of reasons. Guilt and. She goes on to say, yep, guilt and shame follow most throughout their lives until we recognize our soul and claim our sovereignty. Loving the opportunity to reflect on this topic. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you for joining me today. So as we look back on those life-changing moments, on those life-changing experiences, ask yourself, how is that, what trajectory did it take you into? Is there forgiveness of yourself that wants to happen? Because you thought you were going one way, you made a decision and you ended up going over here. Is there forgiveness of self that desires to happen? That maybe you haven't thought about that. And how do those moments play out in your daily life in present moment? How does that experience, that life-changing moment, play out in today's daily life? It's really good to reflect on those things, to see if for anything, to see if there's still healing that requires to be done. Is there healing that still requires to be done? Hmm. And what kind, if there is? What kind of healing? Is it just recognizing? Is it allowing the words, the pain, the guilt, the shame to have a voice? Does it go deeper than that? Is it as easy as that? Just allow it to, you hear it, you breathe into your heart space, you breathe into your heart of hearts. And when I do, sometimes I imagine there's a rose within my heart. So all of those, what could seem like a shadow, what could seem like darkness, what could seem like something that doesn't want to be revealed, a rose is softness, a rose is welcoming, a rose is a symbol of love. And I bring those thoughts, I bring those things that can seem to take me into turmoil or to down a path I don't want to go or maybe can't get out of. I bring those into my heart. And I say within me, I see you. I hear you. And it's time. And it's time to transmute back into original, pure love. And with that intention, I take those thoughts and I bring them into my heart space, into that rose that is just so big and beautiful and welcoming, and just like it's fertilizer for the spirit. It's like fertilizer, like food for the spirit, as we bring those things in and we allow it to transmute, and we allow it to transmute and return back to original, pure divineness, pure love. Joanne says, yes, healing happens in layers, and one has no idea of the multiple layers beneath the immediate work of forgiveness until we realize forgiveness is a lifelong process. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for your input. I treasure you. I treasure you. I treasure you. I so appreciate everyone that adds to this time. This is not just about me, Tammy Lee. This is about all of us who gather together, whether it's live or on the replay. Let's keep this conversation going on inside our Facebook group, on our YouTube page, and on our Emerald Compass Facebook business page. Thank you for joining. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you so much, darlings.